The intention in making this documentary is to present knowledge in a simple and concise form, not readily available to the brother who wishes to know the leading facts about the origin and early history of Freemasonry, but is deterred by considerations of time, and also expense from studying the subject really thoroughly. Freemasonry is the alpha and omega of philanthropy, charity, reason, truth, temperance, justice, science, art, morality, brotherly love and disposition toward all men. Official description says Freemasonry is a peculiar system of morality, veiled in allegory and illustrated by symbols, for the aspiration of the soul toward the absolute and infinite intelligence. The purpose of Freemasonry is to make better men out of good men, better fathers, better husbands, better brothers and better sons. Let's learn, one by one, meaning of the three parts of the definition: the system of morality, veiled in allegory and illustrated by symbols. The first part, which is system of morality, it also has three parts, which are teaching, grooming and preparation of Freemason for the outside world. System of morality teaches the Masons to believe in honor, and that a man has a responsibility to behave honorably in everything he does, with the principles of personal decency and personal responsibility. The teaching hopes to inspire them to have charity and goodwill toward all mankind, and to translate principles and convictions into action. The system of morality grooms the members to devote to the promotion of the welfare and happiness of all mankind, by as unselfish duty, and making them realize that it's not only more blessed to give than to receive, but also more rewarding. And the system of morality prepares members for brotherhood by the use of symbols and dramatic presentations. It encourages its members to expand their knowledge of the world around them. The second part of the definition is veiled in allegory. Allegory conveys a meaning not explicitly set forth in the narrative of Masonic rituals. Allegory always strives to combine entertainment with instruction. Allegory, which may have meaning on multiple levels, understood only through an interpretive process. The older and briefer specimens are known by other names: Aesop's fables, Punch Tantra stories etc. with their moral lessons, are nothing but allegories. In Masonry, the sequence of the 3 degrees is itself allegorical, and represents the course of human existence. The words, veiled in allegory, imply that some of the truths of Masonry are concealed from the uninitiated, but they can be discovered by one who is privileged to join. Only through sincere, intelligent, and sustained effort, reinforced by imaginative and emotional sensitivity, can the reward be reaped. The third part of the definition is illustrated with symbols, and a symbol means something that stands for, represents, or denotes something else, not by exact resemblance, but by vague suggestion, or by some accidental or conventional relation. Some symbols occur so frequently in daily life that we have stopped thinking of them as symbols. Most familiar are the letters of the alphabet. Other symbols, in common use, include the numerals, mathematical and monetary signs, musical notations, and scientific formulas. Such symbols are indispensable for almost any sort of communication. Without them, the marvels of modern science could never have been achieved. The symbols need not always be consistent, but can stand for different things. The 24-inch gauge can represent the 24-hour day, and also accuracy. The square stands for morality, but also for the worshipful master. If you have a flair for recognizing them, there is ample scope to indulge your talents. The introduction of Masonry into England occurred during 3rd century. In 300 AD, an organization, protected by Emperor Carausius, who granted him a warrant, was greatly prospered. A Roman general, Albinus, was the Grand Master. Freemasonry continued in a feeble state, until 926, when Athelstan became King of England. He made his brother Edwin overseer of the craft and granted him the warrant. In accordance with this warrant, Edwin convened all Masons at York, and formed a Grand Lodge, of which he assumed the Grand Mastership. This Lodge of York exercised its authority over England until 1567, when those Masons in the southern part of England met and appointed another Grand Master. The General Assembly still holds its sessions at York, where all the valuable Masonic papers and documents are kept. Masonry having fallen into disrepute in the 17th century, it was resolved that the privileges should no longer be restricted to operative Masons, but extended to the men of all professions, thus changing the system from operative to speculative. In changing the system, it became necessary to make the new rules and regulations, but it was not effected until the 24th of June 1717, when the Grand Lodge was formed. Friendly relations existed between these two grand bodies until 1734, when London Lodge granted charters to a number of dissatisfied members of the York Lodge. In 1738, a number of dissatisfied members of York and London lodges withdrew, and established themselves as ancient Masons. They alleged that the new lodges had departed from the old system, and worked and adopted new plans, and hence they were modern Masons. These two bodies continued to exist, and war with each other until 1813, when the Grand Master of the Moderns, Duke of Sussex, and the Grand Master of the Ancients, Duke of Kent, had them united as the United Grand Lodge of Ancient Freemasons of England, with the Duke of Sussex as Grand Master. It is obvious that Freemasonry impacts the lives of those that become involved. Though it impacts each life differently, what one Freemason gains from the craft or higher degrees is sometimes very different from what another Mason gains. Freemasonry unites men of all climes and tenets in a bond of indissoluble affection. Freemasonry places emphasis on the individual man, by strengthening his character, improving his moral and spiritual outlook, and broadening his mental horizons. Freemasonry is a genuine endeavor to build a better world, by building better men to work in our communities. Freemasonry is a science confined to no particular spot, but extends its wings over the entire globe. It is a universal language to the fraternity, by its secret signs, carefully preserved and handed down orally. Thus it is truly said, that in every nation, the true Freemason finds a friend, and home. In view of the deepening interest in the subject, it may be well at the outset to clear up this point. That Freemasonry is not a religion, though it contains marked religious elements, and many religious references. Freemasonry stands for the reverence of God, and the proper place of individual faith in society, for truth and justice, for fraternity and philanthropy, and for orderly civil, religious, and intellectual liberty. It charges each of its members to be true, obedient and loyal, to the law of government of the country, to which he owes allegiance.